It is said that Jesus almost always used stories to convey his message. And there is a reason that he told so many stories rather than preaching to people. I know that there are numerous times that I can give someone an explanation, but it doesn't seem to make sense to them. You see, facts alone may not be enough to motivate a person. The next step after information is the ability to understand how things relate to what is happening in their lives. I see this happen over and over again. When someone says, "I just don't get it," it is not because they are ignorant, but they do not understand how the information connects to their present circumstance. But if we put flesh and blood into the story that illustrates how the information is applied to our daily lives, their eyes light up and they say something like, "Oh, now I get it." That is understanding, which is a step above the information or the knowledge stage. By the way, if you do more than collect information and facts, your ability to connect these facts in useful ways is called understanding. And understanding is better than sheer knowledge. Suppose you stick with the subject long enough to understand the greater value and usefulness of all your knowledge. Understanding is actually better than knowledge. So we need understanding, but wisdom is the peak of human attainment. Wisdom is actually far superior to understanding. So what is wisdom? Wisdom arrives when all that you know and understand provides a vast comprehension that can often see the beginning and eventual end of a thing. Wisdom is the highest attainment of both knowledge and understanding, because both may lack the full comprehension of the predictable good or bad results of what we may have thought was a smart decision in prior days. But let's back up to why Jesus used stories or parables so often. It was because he was offering truth in the form of knowledge, but the people just didn't understand why his teachings were valuable yet. So he taught the people with illustrations to get them past the head-scratching stage. In fact, we cannot bypass the 4 levels of learning without become wise fools. Learning in life is said to be line upon line, precept upon precept. A little to digest now and more to digest later. And that is exactly how God intended the process. Maybe that is why man has the longest childhood and adolescent cycle among the animal world. But there was yet another reason that Jesus offered information about the kingdom in stories and parables. There were hard-hearted people that were called skeptics back then, but today we would call them haters. They listened to Jesus only to find a hypothetical flaw, something to criticize, or a point of contention that they could use to stir contentious debate. To these, the story was just a story and not fuel for endless argument. So, try as they might to catch Jesus in a trick question, he turned the debate back on them. When they asked if paying taxes to Caesar was proper, he asked for a coin which has Caesar's face on it, and told them to render to Caesar that which was his, and to render to God what belonged to him. Honestly and sadly, some people just don't get it. Worse, they don't want to get it. There were others who were eager to understand. They wanted enlightenment and were ready to believe. These are the people whom Jesus called friends, and he would spend from morning to night feeding them truth and helping them understand what others could not and would not believe. The Bible is not a book of entertainment or a science book. It is often a story book, though it contains a universe of truth and teaches us the only path to heaven's gate. It is also a study book that is not laid out in typical course study fashion. It is a woven fabric of information from which we can gather knowledge that expands to understanding and then mature into wisdom. To be the friend of God, follow the advice of Proverbs 4:7. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all you're getting, get understanding. If you want to grow in understanding and wisdom, join our program at theprincipletruth.com. If you are looking to understand the best in life, we are offering the basic principles for anyone to achieve success in life. Join us and come ready to learn.